Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com here in the Built with Chocolate Milk Coaches Lounge with the head coach of the Pleasant Grove Hawks, who have only hauled off and won like 28 of their last 31 games or something like that. It's Coach Josh Gibson. Josh Gibson is also the only gentleman, one of two gentlemen that I had to interview twice for the magazine.
Yeah, we did that. We only did it once, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We were the 4A cover boy in Dave Campbell's Texas Football is Ben Harmon.
Yep.
And a guy that obviously we have hold in very high esteem. I know you do as well. But we did the interviews. Great interview. Award-winning interview. I would say our best work. And then my laptop got stolen. And I had to call you hat in hand and say, hey, Coach, remember when we did that interview? Do you just want to, like, forget that? And we could just pretend that didn't happen?
We got to spend more time together.
We did. But you were extremely generous with your time, and we're always appreciative of that. How has the offseason been up there in Pleasant Grove?
Yeah, it's been really good. You know, the kids, their work ethic, we always try to grow, and we try to do some things that we hadn't done before. So the work ethic stayed the same. Our guys, they love coming in, putting in extra time in the morning, or they'll throw in the evenings. A wing tee football team out there throwing for an hour and a half with Ben, and the linemen show up and they're blocking on air. They just like doing that stuff. And you know, so how are we going to grow it? We did first time ever, we did a senior retreat. We went out to some cabins and took the seniors and took 3 juniors that they wanted to bring, so that leadership kind of goes down the next year, and went through a lot of stuff to strengthen our culture and strengthen our bonds and just have a good time. But summer's been great. Really good. You
guys, the last time we saw you was in the state championship game. It come up a little bit short to the Jordan Whittington show. I'm sure you're not going to miss number 3.
No.
I'm interested in kind of the idea of letting that sting. You know what I mean? I mean that's a game that obviously you guys were in. You had a chance to win. It just didn't come through. It's your message to your kids. Do you just kind of let that linger for them and let it sting?
Well, I think where they are, and they're just so mature, and it means so much to them. They're kind of like our coaches. They can't let it go, and so that does fuel you. To make sure you turn over every rock so you don't have regrets when it's all said and done. And that situation with Cuero they kind of had a feel to me like a team that felt like they were destined to take that. And then their coaching staff did a really good job preparing them for that game. And then the kid has, the most magnificent game, that I've seen in person. And maybe I hadn't seen a ton of games in my 40 years, but he was amazing. And so you just tip your hat to them and say it was unbelievable. And then how can we fix that? We were up going into the fourth quarter and we didn't finish the game. So, a lot of things that focusing on just finishing and playing a little bit more aggressive and practicing that way and trying to change that part of it.
But the other part of it is, and we've talked about this internally, is last year was not supposed to be the year for y'all.
Right.
Last year, I'm sure you're not going to apologize for your success, but we were sitting around the office and saying, okay, well, boy, Pleasant Grove, outstanding run in 2017. Start looking at the roster, you go, boy, okay, going to be really young, going to have going to need some growing up to do. But it felt like you guys grew up in a hurry over the course of that season.
And that's exactly what happened. It was scary. It was nerve-wracking and scary as a coach when you can't get games scheduled, new realignment, and we played 8 state championship football programs, 7 were state ranked. In our 10 games, and then you play state-ranked teams along the way, and we grew up in that schedule. Had a tough game against Gladewater. I felt like we fumbled 6 times. They scooped 2 and score, and just did not play well. And then come back and play really good against Henderson. And 2 weeks later, the way we played Carthage at their place, that's when we grew up a lot, and you could kind of see what the team could be, and the belief factor started kicking in for them. But going into the year, I saw we were preseason ranked number 5 last year, and I go, holy smokes, they've got us up there pretty high when we're replacing, about 17, 18 seniors that have been playing for 3 years. So we were proud of our kids, and then you get to that point at the state game, and you're greedy, and you go, man, we're here, we got to win this thing.
Why not?
And so, we put it to bed and really focused on this year, but you can't get that taste out of your mouth, and it's not a good one.
You can read the feature on Ben Harmon in the 2019 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Please pick up a copy.
That's right.
But like our conversation, I felt like we could have gone on for days about Ben Harmon. This is a kid, like, you can't say it. Like, we talk with coaches a lot about their kids, and we say what makes them special and stuff like that. But few coaches are so effusive in their praise of a single player as you were with Ben Harmon. It just seems like your quarterback is just a special, just singular player for you guys.
Yeah, I think two things on it. One, coaches have a hard time doing it because you just have so many special kids on your team, and you treat them all like your sons, and you don't want to give more praise to one just because they might be a little bit better athlete. But what he's been able to do, and then me growing up around the game and seeing my dad's quarterbacks and in college and in high school and then coaching, he's just different. And I was a coach's kid, and I couldn't hold his jock, and I knew what I was supposed to be doing. I knew the culture and the work ethic and everything, but I've never seen a kid rally his teammates and do the things that we've been able to do. And so much of our success is because of Ben's investment, and he's different.
And what's interesting is with your success, the secret's out on the recruiting trail for you guys. I know you texted me about how you're going all over with all these different kids who are getting these looks out there, and I'm sure that has to be gratifying for you. That obviously, if you guys were going 1-9, people are probably not knocking down your door to talk to Marcus Burris. But at the same time, it seems like because of that success, these kids are getting noticed at a place that, realistically in Texarkana it's hard to get to.
Right.
It's not on the way to really anywhere. But it seems like this success has put those kids from an individual perspective on the map.
Yeah, and it's done it, at all levels. We have a lot of kids that are getting D2 looks that we're really proud of too. And of course, Landon and Marcus, they're both ranked number 1 at their position, D tackle and DN in that class, and so they get a ton of it. But then we have a lot of kids that, we take around to Harding and East Central Oklahoma. We'll take them wherever people look at them, and that's special because it's important to their families, and that they're getting opportunities. It's really fun. But you talk about Texarkana being hard to get to. I got to give a shout-out to Eric Mateos at BYU. I was texting him on Bruce and just saying, hey, you got to see this kid. And he goes, so you want me to fly into Dallas and drive to Texarkana? And I said, if you do it, I promise you won't be disappointed. Mm-hmm. And he does it. And then they offer him. I mean, he shoots up to number 1 on their running back board, and now Bruce is committed to them. And I think that became pretty prevalent. Like, you're in Texarkana, I'm going to have to fly to Dallas and then drive 3 hours to see you. And we have a good relationship. And I just told him, I said, man, I promise you I'll put my name on him if you're disappointed. And so now Bruce, man, he's going to Utah. But when you do have kids, that they will make efforts to come see them, and they've certainly done that. Everybody across the nation for the 2 big ones. I mean, from Clemson, Alabama, LSU, Florida State, Miami, they've all been in, and that's been cool for our school and our community.
And now, but there's another guy who's going to college. But it's not a young guy.
Yeah, he might be as old as all of them combined in age.
Your dad, Vance Gibson, is off to East Texas Baptist.
Yep.
Of course, the longtime coach at Frisco, and now heading to East Texas Baptist. What's that been like?
So now he's an hour and 10 minutes down the road, so he's closer to us, which is awesome. I mean, you want to get close to your parents, and we had an opportunity to coach there together at Frisco, and now he's there, and just being able to swing by when we're going through, that's been fun. But the coolest thing for me is seeing my dad be so energized at his age to do what he really wants to do, and that's just coach football. It's not do the administrative stuff or go. He did a good job with those things because he's a company man, but he's getting to be a kid again. And 2 days ago, he turned 66. I call him on his birthday, wish him a happy birthday. He's out on a lake that they bought on, and Marshall, and he's riding a jet ski and getting pulled on a tube. And I'm like, man, you talk about rejuvenating him. And they're fired up about him because he's a football junkie. Started off as a DB coach because they had a hole at DBs. He hadn't coached defense in 35 years, and so he was over there. And now they've transitioned. They lost their O-line coach, and he's just such an X's and O's guru, and he studies the game so much. They're moving the O-line, and he's fired up. And I said, Dad, you just hit gold because you went from coaching prima donnas to the most disciplined, fun kids on the team that just work. And so I'm just happy he gets to enjoy it. And like I said, he's 66. I see him doing it for another decade easy. He has so much juice. And every coach I've talked to here that says he's come by and recruited has just alluded to the fact that he is so energized and he's so happy, and that's the most important thing.
Josh Gibson of Pleasant Grove, one last thing to do, and that is to spin the Dick's Sporting Goods Wheel of Questions.
Yeah.
Go and give this thing a spin. Dick'sSportingGoods.com for all your sporting goods needs.
Come on, wins. Get a ring on there.
Okay, what's your go-to vacation spot?
This year it wasn't too bueno. We've been busy.
Yeah.
And so we turned a football function into vacation at 7-on-7 for state. My mom lives on Lake Conroe, so the whole team stayed at her place instead of getting hotels. And we bought a bigger boat last year because they went there and kind of got bogged down with that many players. So my mom got in on that, bought 6 more mattresses, and we had 30 kids and coaches staying in the same house. And really, my wife's like, we didn't get a vacation. I was like, well, that was it. We did that, with the team. And then we took them on a senior retreat the next week in Broken Bow and had a blast. And right now, just trying to capitalize that we've only got these guys, hopefully to December 20th, and it might end before that. And they've been a really special group, so we want to spend as much time as we can.
Sure. Can I just look?
Come on.
You and your wife's relationship is wonderful, I'm sure. Can I just recommend?
Yeah.
Maybe ask her where she wants to go next year.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I've already been doing that. Like, I looked at vacation spots for next year this past week because I knew I blew it this year.
Yeah, I'm looking out for you, man.
Yeah,
I'm in this for you.
You want to keep a ring on my finger.
Bingo.
That's
exactly right. Josh Gibson, the Pleasant Grove Hawks. Coach, appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. We appreciate all you do, too.
Thank you.